Okay, today's video we're talking about selling gift cards again. You may remember my last video, the video before last I talked about selling gift cards using PPC ads in general, specifically one very specific Facebook ad that you could use to sell 6 figures of gift cards with just one ad. So you may want to watch that if you like this one as well. But this is about selling gift card, or you want to call it gift voucher, you can call it gift voucher to somebody. And for the reason, for every ad that works really well, there's always a reason why the person's seeing it. Oh, it's my birthday. Oh, it's Valentine's Day. That's why. Oh, there's only limited supply. Blah, blah, blah. This is about birthdays and exploiting. I hate to use the word, but there's no other better word. Exploiting the birthdays of your customers that you have. Could be clients, depending on what business you have and how you spend this, to get more basically out of the customers you already have, and right before their birthdays, or out of their birthdays each and every year that they have a birthday, or in general. Okay, so anyway, if you got customers, you obviously have to be a certain kind of business, which I'll explain here. Like spa, golf course, restaurant. It could be used for anything if you are creative and spend it, what you're doing. Because of course, gift cards, vouchers, they can be, well, can't really, I guess. Those are the main. We'll just keep it simple. These are the kind of main businesses that, and at least I've used it for it specific here. You can get to where you can, make the decision for yourself here. A lot of it's just local businesses. To be able to sell, or you're actually selling the user whose birthday is coming up on a free gift card, which they don't have to pay for, in order to get paying customers through the door. One begets the other, and I'll explain how in this video, how you're going to run the PPC ad to facilitate this process so you get more people in their door to try your services, which then a certain percentage is going to turn into a loyal visitor, which you will actually generate and spin off profit from. So there's a whole kind of process that you go through to turn a PPC ad into profit, in which a lot of you guys don't make money with display advertising, whether Facebook or Google Display Network or whatever. Why? Because you're trying to make money on the first click. Unless you're selling something totally revolutionary or newish, you're not going to make money just by saying, here's what my service is, do you want to buy? Yes? No. It's not seductive enough. You got to get a high click-through rate on your ads for the cost per click to come down enough to be profitable after all your expenses. That you generally have to come up with your own creative way to actually get the person at least moving in the forward direction where you want them to go, and then have multiple other steps involved to get your money out of them. Doesn't mean it's any less valuable. You just have to, put in a little bit more work, let's say, and respectively got to use a little bit more creativity, because if all you had to do was say, if you sell golf clubs, is to put a ad on Facebook saying, I sell golf clubs, and that was it, all your competitors would be doing it already. Whereas if your competitors see what I'm showing you here, they're just going to say, screw that, I'm not doing that. Why? Because it takes a little bit more work. And the bigger thing is, if you are in a business or in general have something set up where you're not going to get money right away, most of your competitors will just say, I don't want to do that, because one, there's no instant gratification, but two, they don't think that long term. They don't think of, if I provide a really good service or product, they're going to come back 15 times, and if I can just get the customer, even if I don't make money up front, that I'll make a lot of money in the other 14 times they come here. No, they want to make money right away, right when they click the ad. That's it. I can tell you the top 10% of the people in your market, they don't think that way. And if you're going to use paid media, paid advertising to make money in a space where your market, depends on repeat customers very heavily to make money regardless, you're not going to run paid ads and expect to make money right away. Because, again, if that was the way that it was in your market. Somebody would have done it. The price per click is not cheap anymore online. Doesn't mean PPC ads don't work. Now is just your opportunity or time to be able to use a method like this that I'm giving you, which you have any excuse not to use it because I'm giving it to you here on a silver platter, as is other ads that you can run for your business on this channel that actively work, and I personally know they work and give and share with the numbers with you on this channel for you to put together. And if you're just a little bit more patient than the average person here, you'll end up with all the money because you're the one that has the strongest magnet or the biggest funneling people into your business. Your competition who's not doing it is going to sit there and scratch their head and wonder why they keep losing customers, because they're not willing to do what you're willing to do. So there's a way to get people that are going to have a birthday to come to you and have that customer bring it and pull in other people. And I'm going to show you how to do it on today's video to get to where you're making quite a bit more money. And ultimately, if you run a restaurant or whatnot or anything like that, where your doors will be completely packed just through this one mechanism, this one ad that you can run that's consistently ran every year for all the people that have a birthday going on close to or within the 30 days of their birthday, but as a perpetual system that brings in people, which brings in more people, which brings in more people, all as a part of this one individual system, and will run automated once it's set up. So anyway, I'll get into the meat of this about what to do, how well it works, go over the actual economics of how this engine works, explain exactly why it works and how much you can make, and then it'll be up to you to go ahead and use it. You'll have everything you need at the end of the video to actually use it for your business. So the question being here that we're actually going to get into and solving here is, do you now exploit the very real sales opportunity to sell to your customers to and or before their birthdays? If you don't, and you don't have anything birthday promotions going on in your business right now, then using PPC, you can actually sell gift cards to people who will be having birthdays soon as a way to get people who have not tried your product or service yet, since that one time of the year that they have their birthday, they are more than any other time with more people obviously during like Mother's Day and stuff, may funnel into your business, or it could be a different day of the year depending on what business you have. But nobody's around as many people on average, if you're not talking about like Christmas, which though they're at home, in terms of going to a business, then their birthday, during their birthday, they go out and they invite all their friends and family. It's the one time of year for each individual person that they're out with all their friends and so on and so forth. Of course, it could be somebody in which it's somebody else's birthday, but that's that one time that if you can get that person to come on their birthday to your restaurant, you're going to capitalize on that one greatest opportunity for a whole bunch of people who never or would normally never consider coming to your restaurant or your spa or your golf course, to get those people in. And respectively, if the friend likes it and they come in, they're likely to become a loyal customer. Because why? Now you have a bond with that person. You can say, hey, you want to go to the place we went to on my birthday again? And then you see how this can actually result in a growing business once you get somebody who, starting off with getting somebody who that you're artificially increasing the amount of people who would come in on their birthday using a gift card in this case. So respectively, so the time that people normally want to go out and spend money and do so with the most of their friends, this is your using PPC ads, you can get that person when they spend all that money with all their friends just to come to you as a way to do it most of the time, or basically increase the odds so much that basically effectively you've guaranteed that person, if they're going to go out, comes to you. Why? Because you're giving them a really, really good offer here, and a unique offer that your competition doesn't have the cojones to offer, because they aren't thinking big. They're not thinking about what's the value of the person that you're bringing in. They're thinking, how can I make money today? And paid media is so expensive that if you want that, it's very difficult to get that working. So anyway, this will work for, I've used it in spaces related to, golf. As weird as that seems, like you're giving a promotion to somebody who's at a golf course, to get their friends to come there on their birthday together. Spas, restaurants, those are the main ones that I use, but can be used in other places. So if you have anything in that general category, this should work, and I'll explain how and why it will work actually as well. So, but anyway, here's the actual method and PPC strategy that you're going to use in order to get more people of your customer base that you already have to come to your outlet, your store, whatnot, locally, whatnot, and bring all their friends with them, which they'll bring 6 to 8 friends with them typically with this method, which all those people you can make money off of, which is really the bigger opportunity. And the people that from those 6 or 8 that now come back 15 times after that, which is where you really start getting the icing on the cake, and the money that you're going to make from initially just getting that person to decide to come to your place for their birthday that one single time. And so anyway, here's what you do. So this all starts with knowing when your customers' birthdays are and having their email list or cell phone number, or number and just telephone number. In order to get this, you have to be able to prompt the user to give it to you. But like I mentioned in my other video about selling gift cards, it's easy to just, when every customer that comes in, you could say, hey, basically we're going to be offering free food and drink to people that it's on their birthday. If you want that, give us your phone number and we'll text you on your birthday, a code or whatnot, and you can come and use it. You want that? Yes or no? Just at the register, you ask every person, and then you build your list that way. That way, it's a free way to build your list. I didn't mention it on my last video, but obviously I'm not just a PPC guy here. I'm about anything that makes money to get customers you use. If you can get their phone number list, their email list, then you email them too. You don't bombard them with crappy sales messages. If you have a new signature dish at your restaurant, you email them about that, and you basically 95% send them just good information. It might be local news, it might be funny stuff, and then once in a while you can dip in there with a sales promotion message. But respectively, you do that. Why? Because when you do send the one commercial offer, it's extremely effective. So instead of spending all your bullets, basically, you send them stuff that they actually want to read. It doesn't have to be a topic about your business really at all. So that when their birthday comes and you want to send them that message that you for sure want them to see and take advantage of, i.e. this birthday offer, which you're going to take what's on the ad here and landing page and just simply put the offer in an email and drive people that normally don't go online, but they check their email to get to your landing page and get a higher opt-in rate from this. But you're also obviously going to use PPC, so you're just going to use both because that's going to get you the most overall, people that are using your offer here, since it's effective and you want to get as many people as you can, and you only have so many customers, so many opportunities. So that's how you get an email address, just to prelude this a little bit from them. Once you get the customer list, obviously when you ask for the sign up, you're going to ask for their birthday too, because that's key information. If you don't, on Facebook at least, they let you target people on their birthday. Respectively, I wouldn't rely on that. Just get their birthday up front, and then what you do is you break it out. You make separate lists for separate birthday dates. So there's 52 weeks in a year, and you'll make 52 audiences basically. People that have birthdays in such and such week, you put on a certain list. Why? Because there's a certain amount of window of time in which you want this offer to show up. You do too long, it's not going to be effective, because people, birthday's 2 months from now. You're not giving a crap about whether you're birthday this or that. If you do it only too soon, within a few days before, they're not as likely to even see what you have. So about a month is about the sweet spot there. A month before your birthday or that person's birthday, you have the ad set up. So basically, you'll have 52 campaigns, one of which, each campaign of which has a different set of audiences. And what you want is that your ad, which is the same time shows up for a different slot of time, in which includes different audiences. And you got to kind of overlap them so that ultimately you could set up so that they actually wind up in 4 different campaigns before that person doesn't see your ads anymore. But what you want to do, I think you probably can get where I'm going with this. Essentially, you want at the end of the day, or what I'm getting to here is you want the ad to show up for that person for 30 days, no more, no less. And respectively, you want to set things up so once they're on, you get a person that comes in, they get on your list every year before their birthday for 30 days, directly before their birthday, they start to see this offer, and then it shuts off automatically. You can get your campaigns to turn on and turn off at a certain pre-scheduled time. So once it's set up, it's all automated. Okay? Basically, when you have somebody opt in to give you their email address and their telephone number or their birthday like that, by the way, there's really good tools out there where you can go into an online or like a script or online form. Basically, you could put their information in, click enter, and your Facebook audiences will automatically update. DriftRock is one software that kind of does that, but there's other ones that probably make it more convenient for you, or you just build a custom script so that the person at the register can bang right away, it's in there. It's in your audience list on Facebook, and your campaign's going to automatically turn on, or your ad's going to turn on for them 30 days before their birthday and then shut off on their birthday, and then you're done. And then every year it's just going to run like automatic. Once you know it's working and you set this up, at least if you want to take full advantage of to automate this, you want it for the next 10 years. And ultimately, for the next 10 years, they'll always get this ad before their birthday. A lot of people are not going to go to your restaurant for 10 years, but that's fine because it costs so little to have your ad show up for that person a few times that effectively, even if they leave after 3 or 4 years, that little bit of inefficiency shouldn't affect anything, basically, okay? But I think you get the point. You could set up your system in which you get the email address and your ads just run automatic. Basically, once they respond, that goes into a automated thing in which you don't have to worry about anything once this is all set up. But what you do is you have a campaign that turns on for that person 30 days before their birthday and then shuts off at their birthday. Is going to offer them a gift card. You're going to have a picture, so I'd use a newsfeed ad with an image. On the image, it's going to be a picture of a gift card. It says gift card on it, looks like a gift card, it says $25 on there. And then the title or subject or whatnot, the title of the ad, sorry, free meal plus booze. When somebody sees that, it's going to be so attractive that they're going to stop what they're doing. They're scrolling down and they're going to stop. That's what your offer, you're always looking to improve your offer enough to where you can afford to do that. Where you can afford to do that usually comes from how can I upsell, cross-sell the customer. Once you get to that point, then you make the most money, if you will. But and then basically you're going to send them to a custom landing page, which basically offers them just a simple form and the picture of the gift card there so they know they're at the right place when they get there. And it also says free meal plus booze before you even have to scroll, which is just good PPC practices, in terms of having what's on the ad is also on the landing page right away so they know they're at the right place. But then the kind of the finer details here is like if you want to say catch, if there is you want to call it a catch, bring all your friends, at least 4 of them. It's always good to have, if you have a catch, by the way, to respin it so it looks like a benefit. Bring all your friends, at least 4, parentheses, and we will give each friend 15% off all their meals as well. And I know what you're saying right away now here, Corey, but how the hell am I going to make money giving a free meal away and then all the customers I'm giving half my profit away? Goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. You got to think about more than what that customer is doing. If you got a good product, if somebody comes and eats your product or comes into your restaurant, let's say in this case, and eats, they're going to come back here, right? And if not, you need to change your product or you need to get into a different business. The goal is to have it so darn good you just need an opportunity for them to come in and try it, and not be a free customer, to pay to try it. They're qualified to be a paying customer to begin with, which is why you can't give it away, and giving away building an audience doesn't work. But you're using a way, artificial way to get people in that are willing to pay by getting their friend to ask them to come, i.e. it's their birthday. You could get people that are not ever have considered coming in there to start coming in there. Obviously, by the way, so all your repeat customers that come and it starts from an initial visit, and maybe they'll figure out driving past you want to try your restaurant, but as you know, it's not enough. If your seats are not filled every day, it's not enough. This could get your seats filled every day because you've got a systematic way, which every time this happens is going to net more customers, which then for them the same ad is going to run, and that's going to net you more customers, and it's a part of a revolving engine, which I was trying to explain before. But basically, so they fill out the form, you're going to send them an email confirmation, or I would also recommend a text confirmation since some people don't use email, and it just says, you're going to get a confirmation saying that you're going to get this gift card. You can have a unique code system so people aren't basically trying to screw you. And people aren't sharing this. Some people would have to use that. I would still, recommend that. So, and then a system, obviously, when they come in, they use such and such voucher code. Then you can look that into a database and make sure it's real. Check that voucher code matches the person's name, and then have them announce their name, and then you'll know it's real. Something like that, or similar, which is pretty typical. And so basically, though, you're giving them up to $25 worth of food and alcohol. And they could spend the whole thing on alcohol if you want. Doesn't matter. It's up to them. What do you like to do on your birthday? You like drinking alcohol, right? So even if they don't like your food per se, or let's just say if you think you got the best Mexican food in town, even though that person doesn't like Mexican food, they're going to eat, and probably after they eat, they're going to want to drink, and even when they drink, they're probably going to want to eat because they're going to get hungry anyway, because when you drink, you get hungry, and then you'll try the food and be like, wow, I don't like Mexican food, but darn. But anyway, the thing is only good if you bring in 4 people. So in the voucher code system, they have to look up the voucher code, and they obviously can count how many people is there. So if you at least have 4 people there, and you actually mandate the minimum the party what you come with is 4 people, then you've guaranteed that you have enough actual paying customers at that point to pay for the loss you're going to receive up front from giving the first $25 away to that person. Obviously, this wouldn't work for like a taco stand where the margins, the average purchase size is cheap. But even if you sell, the average ticket size is like $12, this will work basically between the food and the drinks and everything that you average. So they bring all their friends. They see something they want, which is you're going to give them free food. So what do? Right away, you've got a word of mouth advertising going for you. They're going to ask, they want the free food, but in order to do it, they got to bring 4 friends with them. They bring those friends in there. Those are people probably, sometimes it's going to be people obviously that are already your repeat customers already. And for a really small town, this probably obviously wouldn't work. But in a large city, it will work. I know because we use this. And so they bring new people in that wouldn't have normally been there. And because it's birthday, people usually bring lots of people in, not just 4. You're just saying 4 so that you bring up your averages and you get more word of mouth advertising. But the reality is, when we tried this, between 6 and 8 people in that range is what really, on average, they bring in. Some people bring in 20 people, whatnot. So a whole bunch of people are going to come in as a result of giving the birthday person away the free meal and free booze. But on birthdays, what do people do? Since you're giving booze away to the initial customer, everybody there is going to want to drink. It's kind of a funny thing. When when nobody drinks, nobody kind of wants to be the one that gets drunk. But if the birthday person's getting drunk, they're going to encourage everybody else to get drunk. You see how this works? And for you guys who don't know anything about the restaurant business, the biggest profit margin thing and a good chunk of where all the profit comes from is the booze. So if you have to give away booze to one person to get 6 other people to drink, that's pretty awesome. Especially sometimes you can get like 15 people there drinking, get a party room together. So anyway, that then brings in a whole bunch of people who will eat and drink. You're going to give them 15% off their bill, but because maybe half or roughly thereof of the people of the money they spend is on drinks, which instead of having a 30 to 33% profit margin, which a restaurant normally has, now you're making 40 to 45% profit margin on them, which makes up and totally negates that 15% anyway that you have to give them as a discount. The 15% discount, by the way, that you offer for the other people, when they go to invite their friends and say, "Hey, I got a discount from the restaurant, blah blah blah, blah 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 that I usually go to," they're gonna give you 15% off just for coming to my birthday. And it not only sounds good, but it's hard to turn down somebody that's gonna offer you an extra incentive that they got from the restaurant. It's an extra thing if you think about it. How hard to turn down, because then you're basically saying like what they treated you special, and what you're saying is they're not treating you special. That's a gimmick. If you follow my thought process here. So all of these people come in, they eat, they drink. You're giving away half the profit on the crowd, which you usually get 6 to 8 people in there. So even though you're making half the profit margin, right, it's still a decent amount of profit. Enough profit that whatever you make will totally cover what you have to give the initial person, the one person. So the 7 pays for the 1, right? And it'll also pay as long as you get 6 to 8 people on average there. You'll have to count them, and through the gift card system and the vouchers, you can easily track this and verify you're getting similar numbers. That it'll pay for the advertising. You also have to run the cost that you obviously. Don't forget, you have the cost of running this ad to get people to actually request the voucher and make sure that you're going to come there and do come there at the maximum rate you can. I found typically your cost per lead, so you run this ad to people 30 days before their birthday, it'll cost about $3 to get a registrant. So in other words, the ad will show up, they'll click through like crazy, and then the cost of the ad spend to get somebody to request through the form on the landing page is about $3. Part of that $3 cost is subsidized to the fact that your ad gets shared, and anything on Facebook that gets shared actually is free clicks. So you share it and somebody else clicks on it, because what happens obviously is it's such a good offer. If you can get into the position to offer an offer that's good enough that it'll actually get shared, first of all, you came up with a really creative offer and got it, more creative in general in terms of being able to probably make some cross-sell or whatever where you could almost give away something they value up front. But once they start sharing it and you get free clicks, then you're talking about you get essentially the ad cost down to get a lead so far that you can offer more to the customer in terms of what the offer actually is, which is the case in this case. People will see that there's a birthday offer there, right? And they'll share the ad with other people, and they'll say, look at this, whatever. You'll get some extra clicks, but in general, we're talking about getting it to show up for the actual birthday person. And in retrospect, the people that they share it with can come in and they want the birthday thing too. Is my point I wanted to get across there. But they cost about $3 on average to get an opt-in. Now, when you get an opt-in, unfortunately, not all the people come in. You're only going to get about a 30 to around their percent redemption rate in terms of them requesting it and actually physically them showing up with all the people, because that is a little bit of a task, right? Make sure everybody shows up there. So that'll bring the actual cost to bring somebody in with the crowd of people they're coming with to $9 in that range. That's still extremely cheap. So you've got an offer good enough to where it's only going to cost $9 to bring somebody and the whole crowd of people in. Yes, you got to offer them $25 in terms of free food and booze, but $25 plus $9, so you're talking about $34 to bring in 7 other paying customers, of which you cut your profit margins in half, but still you got the other half of the profit margins. Those profit margins cover the cost of the $25 gift card for the birthday boy or girl and the $9 cost advertising cost, to where you're still in the black a little bit, but and barely, should I say, but it's still there. So you're saying, Corey, well, who gives a crap about that? You're not making any money. Yes, you are making money if you're thinking like the true winners in this whatever space you're in are thinking. They're thinking, how can I create an offer so good people can't refuse it, and on top of that still make a pile of money, a bet not up front, so that, and essentially my competitors won't see how we can afford to do it or are willing to do it, but I'm still making a ton of money. That's kind of the holy grail in terms of, doing business in general, but also running PPC ads in general, let's just say that. So you get these people in there, a certain percentage are totally new people. Here's where the real profit comes in. And so they bring in all their friends and family that normally don't go there. If you have a good offer, some are going to now become your loyal customers. How many? Obviously, it will vary business to business, but 1 in 10 is pretty conservative. You get all these people to go there. They had a good time. They were in a good mood because everybody was drinking. It was the birthday. Birthdays are generally fun. And 1 in 10 people become a repeat or loyal customer. We'll just say loyal customer is a more accurate term here. But just a second. So if assuming 1 in 10 people become a loyal customer, okay, how much are we going to make in terms of profit here then? So all of our initial costs to get the crowd there is covered just with what we make up front. Any residuals, all icing on the cake now. If you go to upserve.com and just search for upserve.com and then 1.7 visits per month or something like that in a Google search. I didn't want to write down the full URL because it was kind of long here. I didn't have room on my whiteboard. But if you'll find a case study that says how many average visits per month a restaurant will typically get, and how long a loyal customer is generally on average a loyal customer in the restaurant industry. Obviously here again it's going to vary, business to business based upon how good you are, but if we're assuming that's the averages for all restaurants overall, if 1.7 visits occur per month of the 1 in 10 that you got to come in through this birthday mechanism, that's not the person whose birthday it was, and they frequent for an average of 2.7 years, that's little over 55 visits that they're going to have over their lifetime or lifespan. 55 visits, if we assume it's a $12 ticket size per visit, we're not a burrito stand here, no offense to anybody who runs a burrito stand, that's 55 times 12, that's rounds up to $660 top line revenue per loyal customer generated from this birthday method or birthday offer, birthday gift card. Of the 660, profit margins in the restaurant industry are roughly 33%. So that's $220 profit per loyal customer that you get into the store. So if you want to make PPC ads, you can't think about what you're going to make on an initial visit. That's never, ever, ever going to be work. You got to figure out what the lifetime value of a customer is if you're in a business that relies on repeat customers, because that's what everybody who spends money on advertising does, that actually realizes this and then therefore lifts the cost to get a customer. And if you're not thinking like them, you're mentally not going to be able to justify the cost it costs to bring someone in initially. Whereas if you look at the lifetime value like the big boys do, which is I'm going to make $220 off of somebody who's a loyal restaurateur at my restaurant here, well then I can spend, let's say 110, half of that, getting them in the door. Okay? With that, then, so 1 in 10, assume that your average you have 7 people that come in off of this offer, where at least 4 people have to come. So instead of $220 profit from the loyal visitors that you generate, you're basically going to get around $150 profit, because we're assuming here 1 in 10 become loyal, which is more realistic. 7 people came in other than the birthday person, so technically you'd have to divide 70% times 220 to get your actual amount of profit. But still, you get this done here in general, assuming you have no upfront costs, because your profit you made covered the gift card and the cost of advertising to get the crowd to come in. Of the crowd coming in, you get 0.7 loyal customers to come back. They now overall go 55 times back to your business. They spend an average of $12. Now, in other words, you can deduct here that $150 is made every time somebody comes and redeems this gift card now. So once you have that down and that's known, you run this, check your numbers, and then you should get to the point where somebody redeems this and they come with the people that you've made X, Y, Z dollars, and you'd be happy giving away the food, because you now know every single time you're going to make X. I'm going to make $150 profit for every time that this gets redeemed. And so if you're a busy restaurant that's totally filled already, I can see how you may have to put some restrictions on this, and certain times of you might not be able to do it on Saturday and Sunday, something like that, or whatnot. Or maybe you don't do it at all. Obviously you don't need customers, you're probably not watching this anyway. But now you've got a mechanism to an irresistible offer that you came up with, that really creative and profiting PPC people are able to generate for their business, to make ads work exceptionally well working for your business, of which, by the way, just really sum this up, the loyal customers you have now that are going to come in 55 times over the 2.7 years, guess what? During those 2.7 years, they have 2 to 3 birthdays, which you're going to ask for their birthday, because obviously that's so easy. They come in the first time, they know about the birthday thing that you give out, and then when you ask them, hey, do you want a free meal, whatnot, on your birthday, just give us your email address or your cell phone number, we'll text it, notification to you, you get theirs. And then that person brings in 7 people. And of those 7 people, obviously, one of those people, maybe, but mostly one of those 7 people will become a loyal customer, and then they will use a birthday voucher. If you get my point. So it can really self-perpetuate itself to where it can fill your restaurant over time just with this one offer. So I really did mean that when I started out here. I'm not guaranteeing this will be the only last thing you have to do for your business ever, but this is the type of thing that you got to be thinking of to be able to make PPC ads work, for one, but 2, to be able to, when it costs basically so much to get somebody to come in general, you got to a lot of times get creative. How can you make more money from, it's, in this case, you're marketing actually, yes, you're giving something away, but you're essentially marketing to get 7 customers instead of 1, right? And so, where it's expensive to get 1 customer to come in one time, this helps you leverage so you can get 7 customers in one time, essentially. If you think about it that way, so another, a better way to think that you may think about this here to justify it. But anyway, that essentially is the method of how to sell these birthday gift cards and get profitable, how to get a profitable PPC campaign going for your business. If you have one of these local businesses like this, or you spin the idea for your own market, there's a lot of different ways that you can take this. So there's several different ways that you can take this. Anyway, with all that said, wrap it up with that. I think I gave you enough information to be able to use this information on your own, get a campaign just like this that really is a bread and butter strategy for the type of businesses I talked to you about. If you have any questions, leave me a comment down below. I'll go over and help you with any kind of different idea, maybe potentially for your own business, to help you spin it for your own business as well. I have a ton of other videos on this channel, hundreds of other money-making PPC strategies just like this. If you're struggling to make money with PPC, If you watch my other videos, I assure you there's enough ammo. If this doesn't work for you, you'll be able to make basically as much as you want to make. You know, if you put the time in to execute the things that I know work from the campaigns we personally use all the time here at the firm. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build a lot of different PPC campaigns that I use personally for our clients here to guarantee their results. If you want more step-by-step help on how to do good campaign setup stuff that does work virtually every time, and see the way I do things day to day, you can find that information there. And with all that said, I have another great PPC strategy video coming out in another day or two, and I really hope that you subscribe and or follow up and watch the next one that comes out when it's ready in another day or two.